Welcome to the ride.
Hello, one and all. You still bopping?
Always.
Yeah, I know that. It's us without the Nubian Sumo. So that means that we can talk about how great that song was and that intro and my dancers. I see you representing the Marvel shirt today. You must be getting a pump for Spider-Man very soon.
Of course.
Can't wait. Can't wait for this daggone blackout to be over so that way I can actually see trailers and stuff like that. You know how hard it is right now on social media? Even Amazon almost got me. I was watching a movie and then got daggone the trailer came on. Woo! Almost had me. Almost had me.
See, the thing is with trailers, especially these newer trailers, just like it was back in the day, you'll see stuff that's in the trailer and it ain't even in the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Or it's out of place. So they spliced it together. So you're sitting there trying to, you're expecting one thing, and then it's like, what the heck just happened? But I'm almost there, almost to the promised land. But I cannot wait to see Spider-Man and see how we're going to be going into the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A little bit more to go. I will say that, they must have taken a page out of the WWE for long-term storytelling. I'll tell you that. We know the first 10-year long-term story plan was epic. I hope they can follow suit. But either way,
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
What? You got something against the first 10 years?
Yeah.
What?
My wife's not gonna like what I'm about to say.
I may not like what you're about to say.
You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. How do we get to a point with Tony dead?
That's the story.
That's not the story. Tony dead.
Yeah. And we cried.
A lot. Still. But then you had everything set up for God, I can't remember her name. They did the TV show where he had taught all the little girl was really smart. So he gave her all the tech.
Ironheart?
Yeah, Ironheart. And then they wound up shutting that down because racists started bombarding them with messages and emails and stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
And that's a legitimate character in the Marvel Universe. That's the one thing I don't understand. Like, how do they hate on something that is already canon? It's not like, oh, we just created this character and then we want to thrust, this X, Y, Z person into it, and then we want y'all to accept it. That's already a character that has been fleshed out.
Think about
by Stan Lee and signed off on. So it's not like some random person's creating these characters. The person that you revere for Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men, ... even Tony Stark. Now you're like, oh, you don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Think about this.
What are you gonna say?
When Black Panther was in production and they were actually going to do a feature-length Black Panther movie, there were actual people tweeting at the time, emailing, saying, why does his name have to be Black Panther? Why can't he just be Panther Man? Why does he have to be black?
I know, right? Like, it's a character.
Why can't he just be Pink Panther? Why does he have to have a color?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to see that because that's not this and that's not. I'm like, what? Black Panther been around since the 60s. I'll never understand.
I don't understand it either, man. It's the craziness. But, you know, we still see those things in every daggone avenue and, you know, to some extent in sports entertainment as well, or wrestling and everything else that, you know, we've come across. So it's part of Americana. I don't think it will actually ever be out of it, truthfully. The only way, but then it'll be, I guess, well, I don't know, maybe it eventually get the reverse racism, but the only way is if the forecast is true. And by, I think it's 2035 or not 2035, 2045 or something like that. It's about 10 years to 15 years away. But, you know, the Caucasian community will be a minority, and mixed race African-American will be the majority of the United States of America. So that was a study done that said that, you know, things may change. We'll see what, you know, I don't think it's going to change anything unless Washington changes. But, you know, that's a whole nother scenario right there. That's your neck of the woods. That's your backsplash. Happy 4th of July, by the way. 250 years of craziness in the United States of America, and still growing like Flintstone kids. And still growing.
Don't start, because you know we got no chains, no restrictions. Don't start, because if you start
I was just saying, you know, you in the DMV, so you know
they want it. Because if I'm be honest, I don't know what the 4th of July was, because I worked the 4th of July. I was looking to work the 3rd and the 4th. It's just another day to me. Oh, it's America's 250th birthday. Okay. History tells me that, you know, people that look like me weren't free. So why am I celebrating freedom on a day that I wasn't free?
But the bombs were bursting in air.
Well, I wasn't free.
No, I don't know. The flag was free. Came through
you
tonight. The flag. I'm just going by the song. That's what they said.
Yeah, everybody told, the national anthem, read that 3rd stanza, and then come back and talk to me. And then I haven't stood for a national anthem in 26 years, 27 years. Please don't start me up.
Hey, don't you be getting in trouble.
I ain't gonna get in no trouble. What you gonna do? Oh, you need to stand up for the anthem. You need
to shoot. They mad because Kaepernick took a knee. You over here talking about not standing. That's even worse.
You get the dirty looks. I didn't go. I pulled it back. You get the dirty looks.
Oh, he's about to get in trouble already.
You get the dirty looks. But I'm gonna tell you something. You can talk all your jazz and all your jive that you want, but real is real. It's another day. So I'm gonna tell you something that I know firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, "Well, you weren't there." Well, guess what? My great-grandfather, my great-grandfather was born a slave. And from his oral history that he told and passed down to us, we learned that slavery didn't end in 1865. I got put out of class in school for saying that, but I could prove it.
Right.
And, well, you didn't know him, man. He died 7 days before I was born.
Wow.
So you talking from 1860s to 1980s. So he got to see slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, Civil Rights Act, all of that. So we talking 65, 66, around the time we start trying to be equal. It's 2026. Mm-hmm. We talking 60 years of freedom, but you want me to celebrate 250? Please don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Well, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to poke the bear, let me just ask this question. Does the song Real American hit different to you?
Real American started hitting different to me. Jeez, when we really found out who Hogan was?
That's when it changed. So before then, when it kicked off, You was
because when it changed, it gave you a little sense of pride every once in a while. But then when you found out, damn, Hogan that man, then you look. I got to steal this from the Four Corner Boys. What did black people do to make him so mad?
Well, we know what happened. No, we know the answer. We got to see Brooke a little more closer than he would have liked.
But
that was it.
You can't be mad who your daughter fall in love with.
Hey, you can't be mad at that, but you can be mad at who goes inside.
That's not something you should be thinking about as a father. That's not something I'm
thinking about it. He's thinking about it. So that means technically, KG, that there's really only one song left out of that era that really stands the test of time.
And what's that?
That's Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
Because remember, Eye of the Tiger would play. You start getting, pumped, rise it up. You know what I'm saying? Then you're like, oh, snap. You're working out, you're doing something. You hear that come on at work. You just get that pep in your step. Real American kick in. The blood will start. The boy like, oh, yeah. You start getting fired up. Then, Hogan did his thing. And he's like, well, guess we just got Eye of the Tiger then. Because I don't think there's another song at that level that can really get you just pumped like that. Well, no, I apologize. There's another. But it's kind of like on the outskirts. And you can let me know if I'm wrong. Ultimate Warrior's theme song.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. Play the Ultimate Warrior's theme song while you're on the treadmill. Like you did your jog. And like, all right, I need to sprint.
Buddy.
You hit that
buddy.
And it's all of a sudden you just start running on the treadmill. You're gone.
Yeah, we used to run around Toys R Us all the time up there in the warehouse like that. Just running around, man. Listening to that. Like, God dang, we had no common sense back in the day. It's good exercise, though. So I guess we'll give it two songs then out of, the 80s lexicon that still hit home. As long as Sylvester Stallone don't turn around and be like, yo, I hate black people. I think we're okay. And Warrior's already passed, so we just know Warrior was Warrior. He only saw two people, everybody else and Warriors. So he figured it out. There's no color in it. He just figured it out. Be a warrior or you on the outskirts. So shout out to them. All that lead in was to say this. Shit done gone crazy in WWE. We done had got daggone Sami Zayn poke through that plastic ceiling, make his way after all this time to be able to grab that brass ring. He got the shot and he brought it home. 9 days later in Chicago, it wasn't even like we couldn't figure out where this was going. The moment you saw Cody, he may not be able to compete. Cody Rhodes is who we're talking about here, who competed in a Hell in a Cell with the torn, was it tricep and pec and all that stuff, just bruised up. He just got beat up a little bit. He can't compete. But yet y'all let him compete, not in a non-sanctioned Hell in a Cell, just in Hell in a Cell. Damn near with half his body torn in half. But he can't compete. Okay. I wonder who, shout out to the New Day, who it can be in Chicago if Cody's not doing it. Last I checked, the Young Bucks were in AEW. Last I checked, Kenny Omega was in AEW. So nobody else that really has huge ties to Chicago other than, Legion of Doom. But they ain't going to be there. Kind of leaves just a little crazy guy named Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk, to just magically have a walk-in. It was almost a Warrior moment at WrestleMania when he squashed Triple H. It might as well have been that. He should have ran to the ring, ding, 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 pressed him, splash, 1, 2, 3, I'm out. Music never stops. I almost would have respected that. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad match. I love how Sammy just put his heart out there, was just heel on top of heels, like he was just pissed in his character. The fact that CM, he knew it was about to go down. It's like, God, this month, really, y'all. Anybody else? He'd have been really. and then the 1, 2, 3 9 days later.
I know
you were pissed too. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, man, something's gonna happen, and then they're gonna do a run in, and then they'll just set up something else, and then next thing I hear is 1, 2, 3, because I'd written it off, so I'm looking away doing something else, and then I hear Cult of Personality playing. I'm like, what the hell is going? Oh no, the hell they didn't. I know you was pissed.
Pissed is an understatement. When we talked about this on Night of Champions, everybody across the board was happy about Sammy winning, but we were kind of sitting sideways because we knew something was afoot. 9 days. You know what that is? That 9-day run. It's called being a transitional champion. They Mick Foley'd him because remember when Mick Foley won at SummerSlam Sunday night, he lost the title Monday because that used to be the thing. Your transition. Well, I'm not dropping the belt to so and so, so we'll put you in a triple threat. You'll drop it to this guy, and then you'll win it from him on Raw. That's basically what this is.
Sam ain't even get a house show.
No,
think about that.
He didn't get. Did he get Good Morning America
to walk
Did he
out
get the
with?
Today Show?
Nothing.
Did he get Algiers TV? Did he get any run? Did he get any of a press run?
The only thing of note that he got, and it was cool to see, was Becky Lynch gave him a surprise and Kevin Owens, and they hugged it out, and KO gave him the congratulations. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Full circle moment. KO is like, hey man, you finally got it. Good. Checkbox. And then next thing you know, here come Triple H. Hey Oos, I'm gonna need you to do the honors for this guy. Just felt you should know. I wonder what time they told him that. What time could they? How would you feel if you show up to work after finally getting it? And they're like, normally they should be there at noon. So say by 2:00, you're working with your producer on the match, and your producer says, yeah, and Phil's going over. So from 2 until 9:55, that's in your head.
No,
that's a unique situation, KG.
But imagine if they did that at real jobs.
Yeah,
like you in the warehouse, you just got the supervisor position. 9 days later, they say, "Well, you know what? We're gonna do a change at the top. Gonna be a cage match in the middle of the warehouse, but Sean's gonna go over. He's gonna be the new supervisor." Well, I got but it's kind of like that thing, and he's gonna have a long run. We're gonna go ahead and keep him there for at least 365 days. But I worked hard. Yeah, well, no.
Now I will tell you, there is a place that of recent note that has done that, and that's your good old friends at Sony. They told developers Bungie, formerly of Halo, currently of Marathon and Destiny, we're not going to support you guys no more, but keep making the content that you're making. Get the other Marathon game out, and then about summertime, we're going to go ahead and lay off 90% of your company. Just felt you should know. And that Destiny game, I know you're making stuff for it. It's done. Just felt you should know. They literally just did that. I was like, what the bloody hell? So all the execs are sitting there, like, yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Keep making it, oh man, this is great content. It's going to be awesome. In the back of their head, Paul's not going to make it. We know he's turning. It's like, what the hell? They're like, man, that stuff could be cutthroat.
I don't.
How do you feel? I mean, what do you think they're going to go? Because now we potentially still have an Obafemi situation. Do you think that Cody's going to take the belt from CM Punk?
Isn't Cody getting ready to go on a press tour for Street Fighter?
Well, technically, he's done half of it already. He doesn't have to be on his back end part, technically.
That's one.
Roman is probably going to be on it.
And we'll talk about this later. Not only do you have an Obafemi problem, you have a Trick Williams problem.
Yep.
So you're two. Well, not even who the hell is the United States champion? Trick Williams is the United States champion. Who's the Intercontinental?
Penta.
You got a Penta problem. Like I couldn't think of that for to save my life, because when we talk about next level, and we talked about this before, those are your next level. And I don't care what anybody says. I know Penta can hold the company up. He has a fan base that can hold this company up. Just the same way Trick Williams, Obafemi, has those your three next level.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a problem, but you keep going back to this well. Cody needs his time off. Because Cody's going down that Roman Reigns road where people love him, but they're just tired of him.
Right.
CM Punk is getting to that stage too, where people love him, but they're tired of him. They love the idea of CM Punk. They don't love. That's what I tell people all the time. You don't love CM Punk. We love CM Punk. You don't. You love the idea of CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting stale,
right?
If you will, because you had the thing with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre should have been put over CM Punk, regardless. We always talk about who's better with the belt and who's better chasing. CM Punk is great with the belt, but he's also great chasing because it makes good TV. Him and Drew McIntyre should have had a long-standing feud that should have still been going on today, because it's got everybody sitting up in front of the TV. But instead, you gave us the payoff very, very quick. Drew McIntyre, another transitional champion. They did the same thing to him. So it's like, is this backstage politics, or y'all really think this is good and what's good for business? Because this don't seem good for business to me, and I'm being 100% honest.
All right, let me ask you this, just playing devil's advocate. If CM Punk had the money in the bank briefcase and he cashed in on Sami Zayn, Sami would have still had a match, but midway or even before them, whatever. At the end of the match, he cashes in. Would you be still as upset that Sami lost? Because technically, CM Punk is doing his right to be able to, cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. So is there a double standard? Or would you consider that, okay, all right, he cashed in, it is what it is. I can't be mad with that.
I think I'd still be upset, because one thing I do is I love Money in the Bank, but I don't like immediate cash-ins the same night. I love when Money in the Bank is won and you kind of you show up on Raw. If you're a Raw person, or if you're SmackDown, you show up, you kind of tease it a little bit, and then you wait for that perfect. What was that? Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, if you will. She waited until almost a year to cash in her Money in the Bank. Because you have so many people that cash in, they don't have successful cash-ins. But you got to wait until your time is right. I want to say it was CM Punk cashed in one time on somebody, and they were injured. He cashed in at the right time.
Yeah. Seth Rollins, we know, is the most famous opportunistic cash-in. Edge has had some. Right place, right time, right situation. But at the end of the day, Sami Zayn is out. But I will say, I don't know if you saw his WWE.com video where they caught him backstage. That level of Sami Zayn, if he can keep that going, and he tapped into it, that emotion. But if he carries that over, I would not be mad if that became a triple threat. If it's going to be Cody versus CM Punk. Sami interjects himself, run-ins, just backstage attacks. He makes the case that I need to get my belt back, and then he wins it back. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that. But here's the thing for you. Let's say they don't even go that route. What's next for Sami? Is he gonna go back to mid-card status? He still have the relationship.
Like that, he has to. Now he's going to be one of those. Well, you did it. Okay. And then we move on. How many people do we know in mid-card status that were former champions?
Why, same thing they did with Damian Priest. Why not send him to AAA? Why
I
not
wouldn't
send
be
him
mad at that.
to what's that? Is that TNA?
No, don't send him to AAA because
Put a
El
belt on him there.
Generico,
Like these
El
people that should
Generico
be
was
holding belts, send them somewhere else. Put
amazing.
belts on him.
Let him do his lucha again. He can do it. It's almost tragic. Like, dang, he could have kind of just went to AAA and pulled El Grande Americano #3. Or he could just, put the mask on to be El Generico for a moment. He could do that.
Have you noticed the trend that's happening?
What's that?
WWE, again, is going to the well too often. Even on the women's side, they're keeping everything in this box, and they're not trying to go outside of the box to cultivate anything new. You keep
What's
going
the
with
NXT is the question you're trying to say. Just go ahead and say it. If they're going to the well and they're not rolling the dice, which has always been their problem, you bring somebody up, but you're bringing them up. It's taking too long to bring them up. And then when you do bring them up, because you're long-term booking, like, Trick Williams or Carmelo Hayes and certain people you could slot in right away, like Oba. Okay. There's no denying that massive presence, et cetera, or Rhea Ripley or somebody, but others you're bringing them up, but they can't go anywhere because the world title picture, we've already got a Roman Reigns and Bloodline path going, or we've got this, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, or Gunther and whomever, program going on. So they would just be cannon fodder to build that scenario. So that keeps them in the mid card. And then maybe they could get the IC or the US. But other than that, they're just main event matches or heat or whatever show they want to put it on, speed, whatever it is. Or you're Johnny Gargano and you're just laying around. I still don't know what the hell they plan on doing with this. Even with CM Punk, saying, dude, what the hell are you doing to him and Candice LeRae? But you're right.
Think about this. It's like they're scrambling because they don't know what to do. Bianca's out. We're going to be without Bianca at least until this time next year. Yeah.
Well, no, she's about due.
Okay.
Because you got to think about it. I understand. Once somebody had brought that up, it's like that makes sense why Montez and the Street Profits lost the belts, because Tez is about to, be a parent again. So okay, that makes sense. I can't be mad at it. All right, go ahead, do what you got to do.
Right.
Sucks for Dawkins, but actually no. Dawkins is in the same too. That's right. So they gave him the belt. It's like, hey, we're gonna put it on you, but we're gonna have to take it off right beforehand. I'll give them that one. That's a win because that makes sense. But yeah,
think about
we
this.
Probably won't see all three of them until WrestleMania.
No Bianca, no Rhea. So you bring back Charlotte. You're not doing anything with Natty. You got Alexa Bliss as champion. You're trying to build Jade up because she fucked Alexa Bliss up. Like with that elbow, I was like, she ain't nothing but double jointed. She all right.
Right.
She double jointed. She fine. But you're trying to push that. Then on the men's side, where's Drew McIntyre? You got Gunther running around chasing people. You're trying to force Cody down our throat. You're trying to force CM Punk down our throat. But you sitting on Penta, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, and Obafemi. You're not doing anything. It's like you're trying to force the same people instead of saying, you know what? We got a plethora.
Hold on. Let me throw one more name in there, because a monster heel run for him based off of how, I guess you could call it strong style or how hard he hits, how many potatoes he throws, Ilya Dragunov. Now, he needs to change his theme music and come out a lot more hardcore, but he could be a huge IC player just by beating the hell out of people.
Well,
he's a Cesaro type guy.
You got to return and probably going to be a huge player, as you call it, in the U.S. title run.
You want to talk about it? You might as well go. Yeah, but I say you might as well go ahead. And I'm not mad with that.
But hold on. You got Trick Williams versus Carmelo. Everybody want to see this. This match is beautiful. I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, you know what I said at the beginning of it. My wife looked at me like, you crazy as hell, because I don't see it. And I was like, they in Oklahoma City. They got Oklahomans yelling, whoop that Trick. I'm good with that.
But to their credit, though, we have seen that match 4 times, I believe, in NXT.
And it was a barn burner every time.
So I'm glad my man's back.
Okay, answer me this.
Bishop Dryer's back. I'm glad. Baron Corbin is on the scene. A true heel has returned that has no problem in every facet of what he does. He's a heel's heel. They don't have too many of those. Gunther's the only other one that is a heel's heel.
Let me ask you this. Out of all the years that we've seen Rock versus Stone Cold, Triple H versus Stone Cold, Triple H versus Rock, and I'm taking it back there because think about it. It never gets old. So it doesn't matter if we only seen Carmelo versus Trick 4 times. They put on a show. They tell a story in the ring. I have no problem with it. Now, don't get me wrong. I got no problem with Baron Corbin coming back. And I said it last night. I think I put it in the Wrestlemaniacs chat. And I was like, damn, you fire Sheamus and bring back Baron Corbin.
Well, like, Sheamus technically didn't get fired.
What?
Sheamus took the other option. They came to him with the, hey, we'd like to restructure your contract, just like they're doing with everybody else. Sheamus said no. His contract was expiring. He was at the end of it. So it's just a smart play. Because if you're only going to offer me this little bit of money, if I let my contract go out, then I also am not bound by the non-compete. So he could go to TNA, or he could join Cesaro
and bring back the bar
in AEW.
Don't get me started on that.
Within the next 30 days.
Don't get me started on that because God damn it, they blew that.
Mm-hmm.
You had this tag team that was so damn dominant, and you blew it.
For who? Nobody. Because they weren't even focused on the tag team division back then. It took a while for me. That goes back to what we started the show with. The Marvel 10-year special. Because I'd say halfway through the 80 million daggone times we saw Sheamus versus Cesaro over and over and over. It was like almost every Monday. I'm like, guys, again? Oh, no, wait, it's a Donnybrook match. Like, oh, great. Now we got this. Now we got that. But the payoff being the bar and that mutual respect's like, hold on. They didn't beat the hell out of each other. And now they're looking at everybody else as a tandem. Yes, I get that. That's one of the times that it makes sense. Doing it the repetition way, just, setting it up, it makes sense. But Cody, going back to the Cody thing, as you mentioned, Cody being forced down our throats, he's got to ride the wave. He's got to ride the wave, and he's got to be comfortable riding the wave. Because what the difference is between him and Roman is simple. Roman was forced down our throats as the big dog, the big dog, the big dog, the big dog, the big dog. And then he was rejected and all that stuff. He was just Roman Reigns from the Shield, but that's the best that he had for what he could offer. And then when he transitioned to the tribal chief, it's like, who the hell cares? We got the chief. That's what it's all about. Cody, on the other hand, has a lot more history. Dashing Cody Rhodes, more importantly, the son of the American Dream, brother of Goldust, all the stuff that he's done. Then go to AEW. Then come back, finish the story. Now you want to push Cody. He's going to get the belt. He's going to be the guy. We've emotionally gone through the roller coaster with Cody to get him through the story. Now we need another layer. And that's where he's going to have to ride the wave to figure out what that layer is. because just being champion, not enough. And I'm telling you, I think it's Brandy.
I agree with that. But if you bring Brandy back, you know what you got to do.
Put the Jade out there.
You bring Brandy back, and see you can start you got to turn him into the American Nightmare. He has to go heel when you bring Brandy back. He got to start taking the daggone the photos with the dire wolves again, and that shit went hard, man.
Yeah, it did. But he's got to dye his hair. His hair has to start
but then
streaking
you
black.
also got to think about this. You take Jade, Bianca Belair, the Street Profits, Naomi and Jay. That's your stable right there with the American Nightmare, and they all heel. They would run roughshod over everybody.
All they got to call is the Nightmare Factory.
That's it.
Now, WWE won't like the fact that they can't trademark it because it already belongs to Cody, but it fits.
It fits.
And it's a print it on a T-shirt. You know, all you're adding is just more poignant stuff to the graphic.
If Jade's husband was a wrestler, he'd be part of it too, because it's basically like the couples is together and they just kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, you know what's getting ready to happen. I just thought about it.
What's that?
6 months. It's going to happen. Before the end of the year, it's going to happen. Because we just fleshed it out. We put it out there. Now here we go. So, you got Cody versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. And my question is why?
That's what I'm saying. Think about that. It could only, if you're going to make it make perfect sense, it has to make no sense in order for you to get behind Sammy to get interjected in to make sense. It has to be the framework that you're pissed about, so that way you're backing Sammy to go into it to be able to come out something. And I would even take it to the next level. You have to up the ante and make it a ladder match. You have to symbolize physically Sami Zayn, if he's the walk out as the champion, really grabbing that brass ring, that championship from the air and pulling it down to show that he deserves to have it. If it's just a single triple threat and you do a couple bumps and, you know, a couple things, which we know Cody's not going to do too many. CM Punk, that's not his shtick really. So Sammy would be doing all the flips. But if it's just that type of match, it's just not going to resonate. But if it's a ladder match and they can really pull off as close to, in my opinion, the greatest ladder match that I've ever seen, even though it wasn't a championship match, which was Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero Halloween Havoc. Man, if they can get close to that, then it's all worth it. But I would still put Sammy over.
They're not going to do it because it's too much like what we want.
But they've already done it. That's the rub. Again, I had pretty much written off that Sammy, that CM Punk was going to become champion because I thought by hook or by crook or by something, even if Sammy just cheated, he would have walked out as the champion, which would have been a great storyline as well. Great match, everything's happening, and Sammy just kicks him in the nuts. Ding, 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 or something, or hits the ref, something that causes a DQ, and then just, I ain't got time for this. And that's the Sami Zayn we deal with. I'd have been cool with that. But we got to have something. If there's no payoff, and that's a 1v1 match, god dang. That better be on night one, first match. That way they got some redemption. Because if that's a main event on night one, I'm be pissed. It's not going to be a night two main event, but on night one. Would you put Over versus Brock night two? That's something that's up in the air as well. Or is it Roman versus whomever?
Why do we need 2 nights of SummerSlam?
Why is WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia?
Because I mean,
you asking these unique questions here, sir.
If you think about it, SummerSlam is 3 weeks away. Why in the blue fuck is it 2 nights? They was like night 1 and night 2. I'm like, what the fuck do we need night 1 and night 2 for? What do we need this for? What are we doing here?
Why do we need 2 nights of WrestleMania?
I mean, I can understand 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Why? It's a Sunday. Is that 2 Super Bowls?
I mean, you don't play the first half on Saturday.
Do you have
Pro Bowl on Sunday?
Do you have Pro Bowl the day before the Super Bowl?
They do now. Sense? They do it the week before.
Yeah, but is it the day before? That'd be the only way.
It used to be the week after. It's better the week after.
But would you want to do it the day before and then you go into it?
The Pro Bowl?
Yeah, the day before. Pro Bowl Saturday, Super Bowl Sunday, back to back.
It wouldn't be a bad idea right now, but I mean the Pro Bowl sucks.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we talked about night 1 quite a few times too. What's up, Anthony?
We've seen night 1 be the best night of all, but we've seen in recent years night 2. Now we understand why it became 2 nights, but it does not have to stay at 2 nights. We can put that shit on Sunday night, so you got something to talk about on Monday. It being on Saturday kind of really messes everything up. SummerSlam on Saturday and Sunday, okay, you dominate the weekend, yeah. But what if, and I love how GCW, AEW, TNA, I love how they'll throw their wrestling events, their PLEs out at the same time. I love that. Because you got options. It's a smorgasbord. But
does the average person have that much time?
I mean, if you like you, Sumo, myself, Perry, that we consume wrestling, and Perry got on me about that shit too, about not consuming everything. He's like, you got everything at your fingertips and all you consuming is WWE. That's not cool. So I have to broaden my horizons with GCW, and I have to, let me say it here at 9:48 on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs flagship show. I am officially ending my beef with AEW for any Forbidden Door pay-per-views.
Oh Lord.
I will go ahead and watch the pay-per-view from now on because he told me I missed a good match because of my bias. And then I want my money. I want my doggone percentages, but I still want my money, but I won't be biased anymore. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then that's that.
Anthony says he don't even watch that either. He's a AAA and CMLL guy.
And that's the thing. If you have all that stuff on the weekend and everything's slotted, you could be, I mean, as long as WWE is not in another country, you can slot everything to watch everything. You can watch CMLL, AAA, TNA, GCW, I Say Wrestling, AEW, WWE. You can watch everything in 2 days because everything will be slotted. And we're at the point now where you have wrestling at your fingertips. You have it. You can watch it on your TV, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you have. So you can be watching 2 different shows at one time. And then also you have the replay. So if you have the time and you say, you know what, I'm going to consume this and I'm going to take the time to consume this, it's possible.
Or do you just sit back and just follow them all on Twitter and consume it all in 45 minutes the next day?
Well, I mean, that's what you have to do. You don't have no time.
It's like, let me just go ahead and just soak all this up real quick. Hey, Siri or Grok or whomever, string all the highlights together. Or Chat GBT, that'd be something else. String all the highlights together. But I don't know. They've got still a problem. And you touched on it. They have to figure out how to get the new generation infused, because that was TNA's problem for a while. They were focused on all the past WWE stars, WCW stars, you know, that main event mafias and aces and eights, and pretty much half of it half of everything that you saw on OG was top talent from other places.
But you realize why that was.
Yeah, because you had Bischoff, Hogan, and then also Dixie wanting to just get as many, it's almost what Tony Khan was doing in the beginning of AEW. Let me just go ahead and soak up. I'm going to cut my checks, get this person.
But hold on. Bring it back. Before you had Hogan, Bischoff, and Dixie, when it was Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett running everything, they were a success. The 6-sided ring, the X division. And then in the early days of Dixie Carter, before she went off the fucking rails, we had probably one of the best tag team divisions in all of wrestling. And we had one of the best women's divisions in all of wrestling. Like WWE had to step their game up and go away from the Divas Championship and actually have a real wrestling championship, because not only were the TNA women beautiful, they could fucking wrestle.
Yep.
Then you had TNA with they had the whole joint venture with New Japan. So you had the Dudleys holding the TNA championships with the New Japan championships, and then bringing them on TV facing the Motor City Machine Guns or Beer Money. And it was like, this is must-see TV.
Yep.
But when Hogan got in there, Dixie got in there, Bischoff got in there, they wanted to revert back to what they wanted to make that the new WCW. When you had the Main Event Mafia, that was great. Main Event Mafia was good. But what you did is you focused too much on that and you forgot everything else.
The workhorses. They should have never, and as much as I enjoyed him in WWE, and I was happy he came, they should have never, ever lost AJ Styles.
Yeah, he was the face that runs the place for real.
He was their Undertaker. He was their guy. He was their Sting. He was their guy. And if you caused him to just say, hey, can't do it no more, I got to go, that's when it was all downhill. And, I wonder what it would have been like if Paul Heyman would have been able to fulfill his vision of TNA. If he would have come back there after he left Vince, instead of, coming back and dealing with Brock Lesnar and all that other stuff, if he would have went to TNA and, had a stake in the company and been able to make that happen, AEW may not exist because there'd have been no lane for it. AJ Styles would have been, arguably one of the biggest marketable icons in wrestling. I guarantee you he would have done a lot more with the Guerreros. Rey Mysterio may have, stepped in there. Man, we probably may never have had the original Mae Young Classic, because a lot of them would have transitioned. Rhea probably would have went there because of the wrestling level. Io, Asuka, Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, Poison Pixie. I'm brain-farting on her name. Johnny Gargano's wife. Candice LeRae, Mia Yim. Who else was in there? Mercedes Martinez was in it. Bianca Belair was in it. I think it's everybody that I can think of off the top of my head. But that was all Mae Young Classic. And I remember watching that the first time. We talked about it. We covered it. And it's like, man, that's a star. That's a star. I'd say about almost 85% of that show became true WWE superstars.
Yep.
And Shayna Baszler, I think, was in that. Transitioned from NXT to the main roster. Insanity. But if Paul Heyman had his hands on a new something special with Dixie Carter money, that's the one thing he was missing. And some distribution. So as long as he had a network to show it on. Still, let me rewind. I haven't said in a while. Fuck you, TNN. They still deserve that. I know you became Spike and y'all closed after, some time, but F you, because you ain't have to do ECW that way. That was some hot garbage. Hot garbage.
Oh, this right here. Ooh, Anthony said,
"Oh no, Anthony, you don't know what you're talking about."
Because that wasn't the case. Let me tell you something.
No, not that. This one. The real reason why ECW went out of business because Paul Heyman didn't know how to work finances. Is it a good idea to give him a company again? Basically, it wasn't the fact that he couldn't manage finances. It's literally TNN effed him over. He I forget what the global company is that books or requests pay-per-views. So like they'll pay you for X amount of pay-per-views per year. They had just ordered 4 more ECW pay-per-views to the tune of $150,000 plus. So there was a market and they're putting it out. But as Eric Bischoff has said when he was trying to buy WCW, what good is a wrestling production, a wrestling business without distribution, without the ability to be on TV? And at that point, we didn't have streaming. You only had your networks. We didn't have cable at its height to where it is now, where there was so many different channels and Netflixes and things like that can leverage. You had the big ones, and that was it. And who else they owned. So the Nashville network, TNN, was, technically they were supposed to be throughout the rest of that year, which would have fulfilled those 4. He would have made money. Now, granted, he done some stuff with the money, robbed Peter to pay Paul and stuff like that, but they could have still been in business with RVD, Jerry Lynn, Sandman, Raven. He probably could have had Mick Foley come in from time to time, Terry Funk. He was feeding people to WWE, so you could have had some crossover. Rey Mysterio. Lucha Underground wouldn't have been necessary if ECW was still there, truthfully. So who knows what would have happened with another year of ECW. Vince wasn't fearing ECW, so it wasn't like he needed to put it out of business like he needed to do Ted Turner. So it was smart business for him to have somebody farm or home grow the talent that he could just pluck from ECW.
But here's the thing. Anthony brought up a point. He said what hurt ECW also is edgy and extreme. There was no company that was going to put them in prime time on television who would have sponsored them KG realistic. Let me explain something to you. Now you're jumping in my wheelhouse here, Anthony. What was edgy and extreme about ECW? Because it was that thing that got everybody talking, number one. But what was the difference between that and watching Shotgun Saturday Night on network TV? And you're talking about Pretty Mean Sisters, and Meat can't go out and perform because they've drained him. Okay, what's the difference between that? What's the difference between the EMT BB coming down to assist an injured wrestler, and she winds up in mud with her shirt popping open and her boobs flying everywhere? And that was on network TV.
The cat coming out of the mud with
and
no
she
top.
Showed her
yeah.
What's the difference between JR when you heard Jeff Jarrett music hit and he's sitting there yelling, "Oh, it's the kitties and the puppies"? What's the difference? You got fucking 7-8-year-olds running around talking about, "I want to see the kitties and the puppies." What's the difference?
And this ain't no Animal Planet episode.
Exactly. You got Sable in the middle of the ring on Raw.
That's all you need to say.
Handprints over her boobs. Come on, dog.
That's all you need to say with Sable. You ain't even got to describe it. Just Sable.
The first time I seen Jacqueline naked was on Raw. Come on, bruh. The Godfather on SmackDown bringing out the hoes. And they were scantily clad. What's the difference between what ECW was doing and what WWE with the Attitude Era at its height was doing? There is no difference. You want to you want to say with the hardcore matches?
Well, technically there was yeah. I think you were going that way. That is really the line. WWE was more on the sexually explicit.
Yes.
Just
ECW
to be
was more
controversial,
hardcore, but
and ECW just had more color.
Well, for a time there, WWE was running neck and neck. We used to have first blood matches.
Yeah.
We used to have Inferno matches. ECW and WWF at the time had some of the best specialty matches. And you got more blood. You got the Crimson Mass more often than not. The Brood was running around giving people blood baths. You know, when Kane gave Austin a bloodbath in the middle of the ring. Eminem when they faced off against Edge and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the cats from Eminem bust his whole face open. Like his nose split wide open and blood gushing.
I think it was Joey Mercury.
There was no difference. We saw blood and mayhem and everything on WWF television, which was at the time was on TNN, was on WC. I'm sorry, that was on what was SmackDown? SmackDown was on Channel 20. It was WDCA here, which turned into UPN.
UPN, yep.
Yeah, so we watched that. That UPN. You didn't need cable to watch UPN. Cable, that was you plug an antenna in, you move the antenna like this, and you got Channel 20. There
you go. That was just SmackDown.
I don't agree with that. I can't, because now you lived through it too. Because I think, and you're 35, so you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. We watched all this stuff. It's no way in four hills kids in elementary school was giving people the DX chop and not getting expelled. But we saw that on network TV. Last example.
Remember this on network TV?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels. I did not sleep with that intern. I was up all night. Come network TV.
Woo.
Network TV.
Awesomeness. All right. So what is retort? See where I'm coming from, at least KG. Seems like hardcore matches or first blood matches in WWF and WCW world were tame compared, but shouldn't it be tame compared to a company called Extreme Championship Wrestling? You know, there was a market at that point, more so on the tape trading end, because ECW was you knew. So you're buying more so VHS tapes than it was. Actually, you could think about ECW in its early days. I know it's going to sound a little strange and crazy, KG. If you think about them like Master P.
Yes, that's perfect example, because you didn't consume ECW on TV, but you caught December to Disremember.
Mm-hmm.
I still got that DVD somewhere. I don't know where it's at.
Blockbuster or whatever. Somewhere. They right there. It's like, oh snap! Let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that. And you just watch it, or you got somebody on a corner that's selling the bootlegs.
Yep.
What you got, man? Let me go ahead and get them ECW joints off of you.
Every month.
You had a friend that had the black box or whatever it is.
Every month, what was you doing? You was watching ECW every month. So I mean, was it tame? Yeah, I guess you could call it tame, but I mean, ECW didn't really have a whole. They had moments, but every show wasn't a hardcore match. Every show wasn't a barbed wire match. Now you want to talk about barbed wire matches? New Japan, man.
Well, that's where he goes. Was it tame in comparison to New Japan? Yes. Because that was a whole different cultural shift out there, what they were doing in Japan. Just like in AAA versus and WWE is still navigating this, or TKO, when they're buying AAA, the way AAA has a lot more of the transgender stuff going on. How do they navigate that? Because that's part of that culture of AAA. The little folks. That's part of the culture. How do you navigate that versus trying to put on an American product? You can't. That's what it is. That's the heart of AAA. That's the heart of AAA. And yes, in Japan, they just did stuff. Period. Now, if you got your hand on some of them tapes, you just sitting there in awe, like, how is this legal? Again, we could take that back to what was that? Asuka and oh gosh, who was it that beat the crap out of Asuka? What's sumo when you need him? I'm totally brain farting on it. It'll come back to me. But that match where he just beat the holy hell out of Asuka, I'm like, dude, and that's your protege. That's somebody that's part of your faction. No, it wasn't Bolt No Leg. It was
Minoru
just
Suzuki?
retired not too long ago. Yeah, Suzuki. Yep. If you go back and watch that match in today's time, somebody would have probably called, the police, protective services. He'd have been in jail.
Yes,
because that was strong style at its finest. He was hitting her. No work, no kayfabe. He was hitting her. And she just had to endure it. But that's part of the culture. So we couldn't get that in ECW because, people would have went to jail. The closest that they pushed the line was that Raven, Tommy Dreamer, and Beulah situation where Raven was kendo sticking Tommy Dreamer. Please let me have another. Man, that was hard to watch.
That's another thing. When Tommy Dreamer took his finger and had Beulah sit on it. Come on now.
Yep.
Come on. That was we were getting that in WWE. WCW was the tamest of them all. You didn't get that type of stuff in WCW.
Yep.
So but that's what put WWF over WCW in the Monday Night Wars. But imagine if you did get a weekly show from ECW. We'd still be talking about ECW to this day. If ECW had the money and the backing and the sponsorship and they weren't doing shows once a month on pay-per-view, we'd still be talking about ECW as a company that's up and running and they're in their 40th year of being around. You know how many stars have come through ECW? Your Stone Colds, your Eddie Guerreros, your Chris Jerichos, all came through ECW.
Mm-hmm. Anthony's got a good question. I'll answer it, and then we'll actually start to wrap up here. But Don, is this an oxymoron? I'm to the point where I don't watch WWE or AEW. I focus mainly on AAA. Or is that crazy? I won't call it dumb, but is that crazy because AAA is a WWE product? I wouldn't call it an oxymoron because here's where culture and unity overshadows the dollar and a cent. WWE can buy WCW and take the good old boy network and, hey, this is ours. We'll let you watch it if we want to. We'll change it if we want to. It is what it is. They bought ECW. This is ours. We're going to take Extreme Championship Wrestling and put in vampires and mummies. And what the hell is this? But in AAA, they can't change a culture. They can only say that they own the product. Because if people there decide in Mexico, we're not going to show up, they're done. And they are organized to be able to do that like that. That's why they got Rey Mysterio down there as the GM. That's why they playing it real smart and careful. You may get a little bit more better production value, but you're not touching the core of what AAA is. Because if you do, it's done. They will shut you down so fast and then dare you to try to figure it out. So it's not an oxymoron at all. It makes sense. You're watching good product because it's consistent. It's just been upgraded visually. So it's like you're going from playing, for KG's sake, college football on an Xbox 360, and now you have some money. Now you're playing on the Xbox Series X or PS3 to a PS5. That's really what you're getting. But it's still AAA. So What's your final thoughts, KG?
Well, if I gotta be serious and I gotta, it's okay to consume what you consume, because some people don't consume half the stuff that you consume, but don't ever think it's an oxymoron or crazy or anything like that. I think it's more along the lines of you like what you like, and that's okay, because you. In the height of the Monday Night Wars, you had people that watched WCW and didn't watch WWF. You had people that watched WWF and didn't watch WCW, but you had people that watched both. Mm-hmm. So they could be in the middle of the conversations and talk about everything. At one point in time, Anthony, I used to watch, because I worked at night, so I couldn't watch Raw and I couldn't watch SmackDown on Thursdays because I didn't get all, my off day was Friday night, Saturday night, and I went back on Sunday afternoon. So on Friday, I would, do my little thing, do my grocery shopping. But Saturday, I would get up at 8 o'clock on the morning on Saturday, and it'd be a rerun of SmackDown. So I watch SmackDown first, then I watch Raw. Then Saturday night, I would watch New Japan. I would watch TNA at some point during the day. New Japan used to come on ABC late at night. Yep. So after Law and Order, they put New Japan on, and that's who was on. I think JR was doing New Japan at one time.
Well, that was on a newer end. He started covering it, doing the commentary, so you understood what was going on. But you would catch it late at night. Just you get what you get and have to figure out what the heck is going on. Same thing with AAA. Yeah, you get what you get, figure out what the heck is going on. You're just happy to see it or see something else.
And when I tell you, I used to consume wrestling like it was oxygen. That's what I would do. My whole everything. I would be at work and people be talking to me, and I'm talking to them in wrestling quotes. They don't, and I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear nothing you trying to say, man. Mm-hmm. But what happened is sometimes the storylines get stale. That's why you got to have different places to go, so you don't lose the love for it. So if that's all you watch is CMLL and AAA, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's not a thing wrong with that. You might peek in on something else, and it might not pique your interest, man. That is cool. But you also know, if you ever want to know what's going on, you can come here. All day long.
All day. Yep. And the last thing for me is, I want to give a shout out to somebody we all know and love. The big guy, KG. Last week, he decided to go live and take us down memory lane, and want to have people wanting to tear up and all this other stuff, talking about where we come from and what we done and all this other stuff. It's like, man, all he was missing was a soundtrack and something like that, some Boys to Men or something like that, and then he'd have had everybody weeping in the room. So want to give shout out to an unsung hero. I know he's on all the time, doing all the crazy stuff, being a part, advocating, for all the shows and stuff like that. So just want to let you know I appreciate you, sir. Give me the call to be able to join the Wrestlemaniacs and give you the killer bees. To go from that and the ride, from the Anchor days and, plugging up a headset to, our cell phones and stuff like that. Just, I've done shows, family cookouts on vacations, and it didn't matter. We just set up and we just did it, even to entertain my crazy ideas of, well, it is WrestleMania, let's do a show every day. Tired as hell, didn't know what the hell we was talking about, breastfeeding episodes, and then making this the flagship show of the Sideline Junkies podcast network, to be the first to go from Anchor to video on Skype, and then from Skype to the next thing, and then we just been trugging along on this train, pushing it forward, opening up new opportunities, and who knows where we want to go. We just got to figure out how to get it to come to fruition. But I can tell you this, KG will be at the forefront, helping to make that happen, and been a great podcasting partner. Sumo not so much, but you're gonna call me an MF when you're not here, but he ain't here today, so kiss my ass. But in all seriousness, just wanted to give you your flowers, KG. I know you want to give it to everybody else, but you know, we'll give you some fake flowers. That way, you know, they last longer, and you ain't got to worry about them wilting and stuff like that. So, you know, this
I truly appreciate that, and I thank you. And I mean, it's we've been doing this. We coming up on 8th anniversary of the Wrestlemaniacs, and I think, you know, I'm gonna put it out there, but I think for the 8th anniversary, we should do the top 10s and the top 20s over. That way, because we're gonna have sumo, and that way,
is 8 the right number, or is it the 10th anniversary? 2 more years, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do it on the 10th. That way, we can revisit the first 2 shows.
Yeah,
the ranking shows. So I mean, and you talk about the first WrestleManiacs are the first show to go over an hour, first show to do 2 hours, first show to do 3 hours. And it's like, you proud of it. Only record that the WrestleManiacs don't hold anymore is longest show.
Yeah.
And trust and believe, when time when time when time gets right, we'll get the record back.
That's right. But we gotta let everybody else have something.
Yeah, you know, gotta let them feel it.
Midnight Rider gotta have something to talk about. You know, otherwise he'll get mad, and you know, then he's gonna change his graphics on the back end, and then, you know, maybe a theme song or two. You know, we don't need that. We don't need the smoke. You know, he'll be talking bad about us on a Sunday Rise or you know, Thursday Night Throw. We just don't need that. We want to keep him happy. You know, he's like the Transformer that could go either way. You know, just keep him as an Autobot. If he becomes a Decepticon, we got a problem. So, all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just I'm happy to be here. So I'm just happy to be a part of everything.
That man's special right there. That's special. That Randy Jackson. Yep. So, Anthony, appreciate you, you know, chiming in, asking some great questions, sparking some great conversations as always. You know, everybody, we appreciate you watching, be it on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, listen to us on the audio sides. You know, we never ever forsake the audio, because that's what put us on the map. So we appreciate y'all listening to us either at work, at play, or just at your leisure. So don't think that we do not appreciate everything that you're doing, even the ones that are commenting on our clips and things like that on the Tick of the Talks and everything else. You know, we wouldn't be able to continue to do this crazy stuff without y'all actually coming every week, logging in to listen to us go off the rails. I will tell you, though, it's 2026. We are due a Sam Jackson episode. I'm quite sure there'll be something that will upset us enough to throw out about maybe 80 or 90 MFs in the course of a show. Could be possible. And then who knows what else may come down the pike that could just spark something of crazy interest. So stay with us. We're not done till it's over. And thankfully for us, we hit the bell. So, you know, the match started, but it'll never end. Wait a minute. That punk ass sumo ain't here. You gonna have to do his part?
Yeah. I mean, you got the button?
You have to take this out of his job. So
who got the button? You got the button or I got the button?
I got the
okay,
button.
You got the button. So all right, we know.
All right. On behalf of the big guy KG, I am the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. This is the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs. Nubian Sumo is out on special assignment somewhere. We don't know what he's doing. Probably picking his nose, looking for some new hose for the dance and intro, whatever. But at the end of the day, we always got to tell you to diversify your bonds.
Konnichiwa, bitches.